everybody has their own set of struggles. Life is easy for literally nobody, okay? Nobody is trying to actively sabotage their lives by taking wrong decisions. Hi, this is Lakshita and welcome to my YouTube channel. So I am almost towards the end of my BTech degree and this is a very bittersweet feeling. The placement season is almost over now. Most of the people have kind of decided what they want to do next. Some are going for higher education, some have jobs. Everybody sort of has a plan. Okay, so I got placed towards the beginning of the placement season. So I have had a plenty of time after that to notice and observe all the things that were going around me. And the whole process is quite shocking. And if you have been through that, you know how it is. Some of the people whom we all thought are the most deserving, are on top of their classes, have a good skill set, were the ones who got placed towards the end of the placement season, while some of the people whom all of us underestimated made it with a very decent package. So yeah, it was quite shocking for us. And then of course this is like an inseparable part of the whole placement season. There are rumors flying around about how the students who are a part of the training and placement cell got placed because of their connections with the TNP and stuff like that. And me personally, since I'm not a part of the TNP cell of my college, I found it very unfair. But now when I think about it, I don't think it's unfair anymore, because we all had a chance to be a part of the TNP cell, but all of us chose to not be a part of it. Okay, so in our college, TNP cell ke interviews happen in the first year. You sit for an interview and then you get selected to be a part of the TNP cell. Back then, pata nahi where I was lost. I didn't even know कब TNP के interviews होके ख़त्म भी हो गए. Okay, but luckily in second year I got that chance again. A friend of mine personally asked me कि अपने डिपार्टमेंट से सबसे कम बच्चे हैं TNP सेल में, so they want people from our department, so why don't you go? And me being the idiot that I was, जिस दिन interviews होने थे उस दिन me and my friends had planned an outing, and so I was like नहीं यार, मैं बाहर घूमने जा रही हूँ, मैं नहीं आ पाऊँगी. I mean, I don't know what headspace I was in, but yeah, didn't I choose to not be a part of the TNP cell? And ऐसा नहीं है कि हम लोगों को पता नहीं था ऐसा होता है. Whole batch knew. This happens every single year, that the people of the TNP cell get placed the earliest with very decent packages, and still all of us choose to not be a part of it. Obviously some people are not able to make it, but that's a whole different case. But most of us do not even sit for the interviews, thinking about how busy they get during the placement season. And if those guys have been through all of that and have used their unfair advantage, what is so wrong with it? Who are we to question any of it anyways? Even चलो उनको ऑफर मिला भी, even चलो unfair था भी, तो भी they must be having something in them that when they were presented with the opportunity, they were able to convert that into an offer. So seriously, none of us is in the position to be questioning any of that. It was just their unfair advantage that they used for themselves. It would have been really idiotic of them to not be using that unfair advantage. Then apart from this, same goes for the people who got placed because of their connections with HR of some company, or maybe they were their relative or friend or whatever. But and of course people think that कितना unfair है यार, उसका तो connections के through हो गया, उसका तो source लगा के हो गया. But it would have been really foolish of them to not use that unfair advantage. Like imagine तुम्हारे कोई बहुत close तुम्हारा कोई क्लोज का बंदा या तुम्हारा कोई पहचान का बंदा किसी कंपनी का HR है एंड यू आर हैविंग अ रियली हार्ड टाइम गेटिंग प्लेस्ड सिंस द जॉब मार्केट वॉज ऑलरेडी वेरी बैड दिस सेशन. इवन मास प्लेसमेंट कंपनीज मुश्किल से आई हैं हमारी कॉलेज में. So yeah, it would have been really foolish of them to not use that unfair advantage. And if you don't agree with me and if you still think that all of it is unfair, let me try and convince you. Just stay till the end of this video. Suppose you are loaded, okay? You have lots of daddy's money. Now you are a very moral person and you don't want to use any of it. You are like कि नहीं, I want to earn my own money. I don't want any of my dad's money. I will work by myself and I'll earn that, okay? But to be able to do that, didn't you have a good education to begin with? Didn't you go to a good college? Didn't you go to a good school? Didn't that education play a major role in shaping your personality? Didn't you have a comfortable lifestyle where you were able to focus on your studies? Don't you have an open mindset because you come from that background? Aren't you confident because your family supports you in no matter what you do? You have seen a certain standard of living and you would like to match that when you are earning by yourself. All of these are very similar to daddy's money. Even if you're not using it directly, it still stays with you. And all of this already puts you ahead of a lot of people. Okay, but why are we only talking about the rich people? Middle class की बात करते हैं जिससे most of us belong. The desire that we have to do better. The fact that we want to escape this middle class bracket and jump to the next bracket. The good education, the roof over our head. This is all our unfair advantage too. मैं ये YouTube वीडियो बना रही हूँ. I have a room of my own. That is why मैं ये वीडियो इतने शांति में बना पा रही हूँ. I have the ability to read, write, think. That is why I am able to write content for my video. I have a phone, internet connection. That is why I am able to shoot this video and post it. These are all my unfair advantages. If somebody does not have any one of these, their video is going to be of lower quality than mine. These are all my unfair advantages and I am choosing to use them. And at the end, it really depends on the person. Even chalo, let's talk about somebody who comes from a family that is financially very weak. What are their unfair advantages? They have nothing to lose. The hunger for success. They are only gonna go up from there. Maybe some person comes from a toxic family. They might have the ability to assess behaviors faster than you and me. So, I mean, you get my point, right? Everybody has their own set of unfair advantages that every one of us must use in order to get ahead. But हम सिर्फ अमीर लोगों के या फिर वो लोगों के जो हमसे बेटर कर रहे हैं सिर्फ उनके अनफेयर एडवांटेजेस पे ध्यान देते हैं. एंड आई थिंक विलनाइजिंग ऑफ मनी हैज़ अ रोल टू प्ले इन दैट, बट दैट्स अ होल डिफरेंट टॉपिक. एवरीबडी has their own set of struggles. Life is easy for literally nobody, okay? There's this very beautiful quote that I read recently. It says, if you didn't know somebody else's options, you shouldn't judge their choices. अगर तुम्हें पता ही नहीं है what options they had to choose from, who are you to judge their choices? And that is just so true. Nobody is trying to actively sabotage their lives by taking wrong decisions. I have this theory that God or the creator or the universe or whoever, whatever you believe in, has given all of us a jar of struggles, okay? It is filled with struggles that we shall face in our lifespan, okay? And we can choose when to face them. We can face them earlier, get over with and live the rest of our life peacefully, or we can keep running from them and face it towards the very end of our life that causes even more misery. For example, a student who is preparing for a competitive exam like JEE, NEET, whatever, okay, either they can choose. Now maybe their parents have put them in a very good institute for preparation. Their parents are providing them with all the resources for a good preparation for that. Now that puts him already ahead of the people whose parents don't even know about these exams. They are not that aware. Maybe they can't afford the same for their child, or maybe they don't know. Now it is on the child that he uses those unfair advantages or just completely ignores them and keeps on running from his struggles. Okay, I'm not trying to promote hustle culture, but there is a certain amount of effort that is required to be able to get where we want to be, even if we try to naturally flow with life. Obviously, I'm not considering the factors where the parents have forced him in a very different field from where he wanted to be in. Those are like obviously a part of their struggle set, jar of struggles. That's a very different thing. Those are multiple variables. Also, I think no matter where you come from and no matter what you want to be in life, you should utilize 100% of the resources available to you. And obviously I'm not talking about exhausting those resources, I'm talking about growing those resources. Now, for example, right now I'm helping my mom out in her business. Now people assume I'm doing that because after her I want to take over it, or maybe I want to join her in future. But most probably I am going to go for the job जिसका ऑफर मेरे पास है. But I am also aware of the fact एक analyst desk job can't teach me the things that a small startup or business can. Like being a part of this has developed confidence within me for my appearance, for how comfortable I am in front of the camera, and I am getting to learn to tackle people better. I am learning sales, marketing, brand positioning all at once. And I don't know if a monotonous corporate job could teach me all this. At least not in such a short span of time. So yeah, if you have any unfair advantage, babe, just go for it. Use it to its fullest. Let people judge you, let people think whatever they want to think of you. Just do not give a fuck. At the end, it is you who has to live with it, and you do not want to mess your own life up, and you do not want to regret anything when you're older. So with that, we wrap this video. Thank you for watching till the end. See you next time.